Hi friends, it's Ken Dunn here. I'm in the studios in Toronto, Canada, and I've spent the entire day here today with Victoria Pitt from Montreal, Canada. And I've got to say, I'm absolutely excited to have Victoria as a new friend. First of all, thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
It's a pleasure.
Well, listen, let me tell you how it happened. And it's the power of social networking. Victoria reached out to me about a week ago on Facebook. She'd seen a couple of the posts that I'd done on Facebook and on my leadership blog, kendunnleadership.com. And she is a network marketing leader that has made full-time income in the industry for several years and built pretty significant groups. And she called me up asking a few questions about systems and about leadership. Tell everybody a little bit about where you've gotten to in your business to date, in your company, and your desire to really bring your leadership game to the next level, and why that's important for your team.
It's very important because in any business you have to have a leader. It's business where you lead by example.
Right.
So when you reach certain kind of like ceiling, right? In order for you to take the next step, you need to know from the real people who've done it. And I know you can have done it many times. It's all over the news, it's on internet, you publish books, which I've been reading, and I'm like, people have been recommending you. That's why I reach out to you for help. Because for me to jump to this next level and go international or go globally, I need a leader like Ken Dunn.
Now, let me explain to you why this is important. And as many of you know that follow my blog and my talks, I'm all about leadership. I've been studying leadership as a science for the last 8 years. And that journey started with some humble times in business where I realized I made some mistakes. But as I've read books and listened to CDs and worked with my own mentors, it has become crystal clear when I come across an individual who truly is seeking that higher level of understanding or to bring their own skills to the next level. And what impresses me the most about Victoria, you know, as a leader with the accomplishments that she has behind her, in her last 2 companies, she was recognized globally as the top recruiter in those companies. She's made full-time income in the business. And she's had thousands of people following her in her organizations in many different languages.
Yes.
What was amazing, though, is when she called me up after looking at my Facebook page, she said, I'd really like to just come and pick your brain for a day, because I believe, and this was her words, I believe that if I'm going to continue to serve my people, I've got to grow more. You see, what's amazing about leadership is the art of leadership stems from the mind of a student. Anybody who's going to excel at the top levels of the game needs to realize that you're never finished growing. Now, I've met many leaders in my career who believe they've arrived. And because they get into the right position, opportunity, and their income starts to grow, when the income starts to grow, they realize that they can stop. At least that's what they think in their mind. But it's really not that way. So you have this real belief, Victoria, that if you're going to make the millions you want and help people to make millions of dollars, as you told me earlier today when we first met, your journey in leadership, your education is really just starting. So why do you have this huge desire to grow as a leader?
Because if I grow as a leader, I can teach my people. First of all, I need to become a better person. It all starts within. I need to make change within me. And I cannot do it by myself. I have to have a mentor and leader here who can lead by example, who already done it. It's a proven success. So it's all about duplication. So that's why I'm very grateful and I'm very appreciative. So we have this moment with such a great person, worldwide known, who made like over $8 million in our industry. So who can help me and my people to go there.
Okay, you can't turn my interview into a self-proclamation. Let me give you one last little story. If you haven't seen, there's a video on the internet I want you to see. Go to youtube.com/Victoria Pitt. You're going to see a 10-minute performance. She's a professional pianist. She's studied piano through her whole life, music, grew up in Kiev in the Ukraine, and studied music professionally. Well, there's a 10-minute video that is awe. It's inspiring. It'll drop your jaw for sure. And she's amazing. I mean, a couple of the pieces you played, was there a piece, who were the pieces by that you performed?
It was a piano concerto, Greek, and it was Brahms, Hungarian dance, and it was a Russian composer, Dunn, prelude.
Hey, listen, whenever I think about piano, I always think about Beethoven. It's an amazing story. You know, it's a perfect time at the end of our interview here to talk about this for a second, because there's an amazing parallel between this young lady's accomplishments in professional piano and her accomplishments in network marketing. Let's go back for a second and talk about Beethoven's life. It was an amazing, it was just an incredible story. You know, Beethoven, his entire life, suffered with problems to do with his hearing. In fact, in his adult years, he was completely deaf. In fact, when he wrote the Ninth Symphony, is that what it's called? The Ninth Symphony, he did it completely deaf. Now, could you imagine, just for a second, you're an amazing pianist, but imagine if you couldn't hear anything. Would it have been harder to practice?
Absolutely.
It's just unbelievable. Well, let me tell you what Beethoven did. Starting in his early teenage years, his hearing problem became so bad that he actually realized he started to focus more on the vibration of the music. So as he played the notes on this grand piano, the vibration of the music would course through the floor, into his legs, into his body, his heart, his mind, as you were just talking about. You know, it's like anything. Anybody in the world who's challenged with a difficulty or an impairment or a problem, most people naturally, their bodies respond by making up for the impairment or the challenge with a heightened state in another area that complements it. Also, we realize in Beethoven's story there's an incredible moral. Let me tell you the rest of the story. As he got older, I'm fascinated by this. He was smart enough to realize that as he got older, if he lowered the piano closer to the floor, as his hearing was failing, the closer the piano was to the floor, the more the vibration was intensified. You know, I can't wait for you one day to meet one of my best friends, actually my best friend in the world. The man who taught me everything about network marketing is a man named Juan Carlos Barrios from Querétaro, Mexico. He's also a professional pianist, and he first told me this story. And what he told me was, as Beethoven was getting older and the hearing was failing, he literally kept cutting the legs on the piano so it was down lower. And he literally kept adjusting the legs on his seat so it was down lower. And he kept going down and down. And then eventually it was at the point where he sat on the floor. And he wrote that amazing Ninth Symphony. You know how it goes, right? Is this the one? Da, 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 da. Is that the one? Yes? No? I don't know. She's embarrassed by me, but it's okay. Listen to this. The entire symphony was done when he was on the floor. No hearing whatsoever. It's a fabulous story. So what's the parallel? Hey, the reality is anybody that's going to succeed in life is going to realize when they hit their own limits, when they're challenged and they need to grow. They need to figure out how to grow. See, Victoria has done incredibly well in network marketing. She's excelled at the highest levels. She's realized that she wants to grow as a leader, that she needs, for the sake of her people, to increase her own leadership abilities. And she went looking for an answer to that. It's incredible. Just like Beethoven, he realized he had a gift. His passion for his gift and his dreams and goals literally outweighed all of the current obstacles. You know, I've said lots about change in life, and I'm not going to go down that road in too much detail now, other than to say anything is possible in life. And most things become possible when the change, the fear of change is outweighed by the fear of staying the same. Hey, bottom line is this. If you're looking for any success in network marketing or anything in life, realize that any obstacle can be overcome. If Beethoven can overcome that obstacle and create the success that he did, if this young lady can overcome her own obstacles and create the success that she did, why can't you? Anything you want to add?
Thank you. I think it's an amazing story, and thanks for sharing with everybody. And it's true. Sometimes you have to acknowledge, to find a problem, and to admit that you do have a problem. You want to take it to the next level, and you do need the right guidance. But you have to admit, not many people can admit, we always have a room for improvement. And as long as we realize that, we can become a better people, we can become a better family, moms, dads, better friends. So we have to find this, and there is always room for improvement for each of us.
Hey, listen, really appreciate you spending the time with us today. Just a little bit of a leadership lesson. I couldn't help but do this recording after spending the entire day with you, Victoria. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Ken.
If you'd like more information about Victoria and her work, best place to start is youtube.com/Victoria Pitt. And for me, if I've inspired any little bit and you'd like to hear more, go to KenDunnLeadership.com.